head's cut off. Hopefully it isn't. Anyways, hi guys and welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Okay, yeah, at least, hold on, wait. I feel like my head's cut off. Hold on 1 minute, guys. Okay, yeah, so that's a little better. Sorry, I felt like my head was cut off for a minute because the camera is a bit far back. But hi guys, welcome back to my channel. How are you all doing? Oh god, yes. So as I promised, I am definitely going to be trying my hardest to be releasing a video, a minimum of 1 video every week, because I do love coming on here talking to you guys. And yeah, before I get into this video, oh yeah, make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that button below, and make sure you follow me on Instagram and follow me on Snapchat. Names are above. So basically, I did a little, I don't know if it's a Q&A or whatever, like question time on Instagram, and I got quite a few interesting questions actually, about myself, a few about my personal life and so on and so forth. And someone did actually, not even just someone, a few people did ask me, even before I done that question time, but just in general, some friends, some of my followers did ask me, like, you know, what is life like now you are married? And I was like, you know what, that is a really good video to do. So I do want to start doing a bit more chit-chatty videos, as well as doing my fashion hauls and doing my lookbooks and so on and so forth. But I thought this would be quite a nice chit-chatty video for us to do, because I definitely feel like social media these days paints marriage to be, you know, so glitz and glam, so perfect, and this and that, and you know, people put out there like, you know, everything's just so, it's like a fairy tale, and it's like, that is not the case. You know what I mean? That is far from the case. And I'm just here to keep it real with you guys and, you know, spill the tea, because I just feel like a lot of people go into marriage sometimes a bit blind. You know, their expectations are a lot higher than they should be, if you know what I mean. And I just feel like, even me, I haven't even been married that long, and I've learned a lot about myself and learned a lot about my husband. So where do I start? It's hard work. I must tell you, it's hard work, because I've only ever lived with my mum. For 29 years of my life, I lived with my mum. I've never lived with, or my mum and my siblings. I've never lived with a man, let alone anyone else. Okay, well in uni, I did do that. I think, you know, you do that 1 year where you get kicked out of dorms, not kicked out of dorms, but you got to leave the dorms, and you can either choose to live with some friends, or you can commute from home. I chose to live with my friends, but to be honest with you, even that I didn't classify it as living with anyone. Number one, I was home every single weekend because I get homesick. I love being around my family. Anyone that knows me knows Ufema and her family, Ufi and her family, that's me. You know, I generally do love being around my family. So I was home every weekend. Obviously, we were at lectures and things like that. And when I was in the house, most of the time I was in my room anyways, not because I'm antisocial, I just generally just like being in my room, even in my mom's house, even in my marital home, I just like chilling in the room. So it was tough for me, you know, because I've never lived with anyone, let alone live with a man. So moving in with him and seeing some of his habits, oh my god, guys, anyone else that lives with their partner, lives with their husband, boyfriend, whatever, tell me why men do not like to put the toilet seat down. Oh my god, I don't think you guys understand. That was one of the things that used to piss me off when we first started living with each other. I'd be like, babe, why is the toilet seat not down? Can you just not put the toilet seat down? Or he would do things like, this one used to get on my nerves. And I don't know if it's a man thing, because my brother used to do the same thing as well when I used to live with him. Okay, so just imagine this is the toilet, guys. This is the bin. This is the toilet bowl holder. Please tell me why they take the last piece of tissue off, yeah? Use it to do whatever they got to do, wipe their ass and whatnot. The bin is right next to them, so they can take the empty roll off and throw it in the bin, but they choose just to leave it hanging there. Do you know how many times my husband has done that? That used to drive me crazy. I don't think you guys understand. It used to drive me mad. I used to be like, bro, the bin is just here. Or you don't even have to move your legs. You just have to twist your waist, take it, and drop it in a bin. So it was like, those little habits that he has, I had to like get used to, and just kind of, obviously we had to talk about it and be like, babe, I really don't like it when you do this, or babe, I really don't like it when you do that, and vice versa. There'll be things that I do that gets on his nerves. I doubt there's many things, to be honest with you, apart from probably moaning, you know. And that's one thing I would definitely say, guys, is that I had to calm down on my moaning, because I'm actually quite a moany person. Not moany, but I've just always got something to that irritates me, and obviously if it irritates me, I'm going to complain about it. Complaining leads to moaning, and so on and so forth. So I definitely felt like I had to learn how to crack down on my complaining and my moaning, because no guy, what I've learned about men, that they don't like a nagging and moany woman. And that was something that was quite a lot in the beginning, and when we started living with each other, I would nag, I would moan about silly things sometimes as well, not even big deal, like, you know what I mean, like if you didn't put the glass back. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And I had to learn a lot about him, and he had to learn a lot about me. And it's just not all glitz and glam like the way everyone makes it seem. It is hard work. It's so much hard work, because not only do I have to make him happy, he's got to make me happy. I've got to make myself happy. He's got to make himself happy. You can't be in a relationship or be in a marriage with someone and you're not happy, if you know what I mean. You both have to be happy, and you both have to make those efforts to make each other happy and keep the spark and keep the same energy, keep the same, I don't know, spice within the relationship, if you know what I mean, right? And I don't know, I found it to be quite an eye-opener for myself, because it's not even just about being, you know, being married to each other, because everyone thinks, oh my god, yes, it's about the wedding, about that. No, it's also about having a best friend and building like a partnership. Do you know what I mean? Because he's my best friend, I'm his best friend. We are in each other's faces a lot because we live with each other now. So we have to know how to enjoy each other's company. You know what I mean? Because obviously you could be in a relationship with someone and you sleep over at their house and whatnot, but when you're actually living with each other, it's completely different. And I just feel like my focus right now within my marriage is not only to build my friendship and make my friendship even better with my husband, but it's also about thinking about our future and planning. You know, before you kind of just think about yourself or kind of think about the things that you want to do. But when you're in a marriage now, you have to start thinking about what we can do together, what we can do together to make our lives better, if you know what I mean. Not even just making our lives better, but what can we do, how can we kind of better budget ourselves and better, what's the word I'm looking for? Better have a better financial plan, I think, for ourselves, if you know what I mean. That's something that we talk about a lot, because obviously I used to do a lot of these things kind of by myself, but now I'm married, I talk about my finances with my husband. You don't have to go the ins and outs, because some people choose not to, you know, discuss their salaries and discuss how much they're earning. To be totally honest with you, my husband doesn't have to let me know how much he earns or how much money he's getting, and I feel like I don't need to let him know. Do you know what I mean? I feel like as long as we're doing our part within our marriage and doing our part within our relationship and building our foundation for ourselves and for our children to come, I don't really care how much money he's making. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? And he doesn't really care how much money I'm making, as long as we're doing what we need to do within our relationship. Now, it's a completely different ball game if the rent was due or bills were due, and I'm like, bruh, what's good, kind of thing. You know, I need some money, and my man turns around and tells me that actually I can't give you anything this month, next month, the week, and I'm obviously going to start being like, what's going on? Why can't you help? And if I've done the same thing to him, then that's when, okay, you can probably start getting into discussion about people's finances. But as far as I'm concerned, as long as you're doing what you need to do, I don't think it's that much of a big deal. In some relationships, they do disclose everything, and they do want to know everything about your financial status. But I just feel like, to me, it's irrelevant. Not only that, being married kind of just shows me that everything isn't about me, if you know what I mean. Because obviously when you're a solo person, everything, you kind of tend to feel like everything is about kind of like me, what I'm do, you know. And I learned that it isn't just about me. It's hard. Me and him argue all the time. No relationship, no one can tell me that they don't argue in a relationship, because that's bullshit. Sorry for my French, but it is absolute BS. Everyone argues in the relationship. Me and him argue all the time. But one thing I learned with him is that as soon as we argue, we have to make up that night. We can't let it drag on. Like, I'm a very, very stubborn person. Like, I can argue with people and I won't speak to you. I cannot speak to you for 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Sometimes I will not speak to you. Do you know what I mean? But growing up, and obviously now that I'm married, I feel like certain times I do have to try and let things go. Not all the time, because I'm not gonna lie, certain relationships, not with with my husband, it's completely different ballgame because I'm married to him. So I definitely have to let things go. But with regards to friendships, certain friendships, they're gone. You know, the ship has sailed and it's not coming back. Certain times you just have to let things go. But with my husband, what I learned is that when we argue, we have to make up that night or the next morning. Like, not even the next morning, that night. Don't let the argument kind of dwell and go on and on and on, because one, it's just going to make the environment horrible at home. You both are not going to be happy, both don't want to be around each other's company, and so on and so forth. So I learned that with him, that once we argue, we make up. And we argue all the time. That's normal. We argue all the time. Sometimes we can argue a couple times, you know, a month. Sometimes we can argue a couple times a week, you know what I mean? But we do argue. We argue a lot. But I just learned that we gotta make up and keep pushing, because one, it's not even worth it. Two, it's not that deep, you know what I mean? It's not that deep, and the stuff we're arguing about is probably some dumb shit anyways. Also as well, what I learned in marriage is that you have to try and listen to the person and hear them out. You know what I mean? Try and understand the things that you do that is making them upset, making them feel some type of way. I'm a homebody. I love to stay at home. Like, in general, I'm not the kind of person that always likes going out. I'm not the kind of person that is always, you know, out socializing, if you know what I mean. I actually generally just like being in my space. Like, if people want to come over, fine, fair enough, but I generally like being in my space. Obviously, when there's weddings or someone's birthday and things like that, yes, definitely I'll make the effort to go out. But in general, I like being at home. And one of the things, that's the opposite of my hubby. He's got a lot of friends. I don't really have that many friends. He's got a big circle of friends, so he's always out, he's always socializing and things like that. And that's one of the things I struggled with in the beginning, is that I just felt like, babe, why are you always out? Like, I want to kind of be at home with you. Like, I want us to be at home together. I want us to talk. I want us to build. I want us to spend quality time. And that was something that I know that he had to adjust because of me, because it's something that I particularly wasn't very keen on, and I didn't like it that much. I just felt like, what is it about being out with your friends that you enjoy more than being at home with me? That's what I started to feel like. And he was like, no, that is not the case. It's not that I don't want to be at home with you. Of course I want to be at home with you, but you know what I mean? He's got a large group of friends, so sometimes he is going to be out quite a bit. But I feel like he made that effort to try and adjust that for me, to make me feel more happy within the relationship, because he knows I genuinely love his company. I know he loves my company, but I genuinely do love his company, and I genuinely do just want to be around my man a lot, all the time. I know it might come across a bit obsessive. Well, I am obsessed with him because I love him, but you know what I mean though, right? So that was something that I know he had to do to try and help make me happy and make me feel happier within the relationship, you know what I mean? Like, everyone makes it seem like everything's so perfect within the relationship. There are some times I have felt a bit like, I wish, you know, things were like this or things were like that. Do you know what I mean? And not that I'm changing him, because I love him for the way he is. I know he loves me for the way I am. But just in general, like, I just wish that, babe, I wish we were in a certain position in life. Or, babe, I wish we were doing this more, and so on and so forth. And because I start to think about those things so much, it builds frustration sometimes. And sometimes I can take that frustration out on him. So I feel like what I've learned so far being in a marriage is that it's not easy. It is hard work. Don't be fooled by all these Instagram photos and all these Instagram, YouTube wedding videos and all that shit. It's bullshit. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? Everyone wants to portray like this perfect relationship, you know what I mean? Luckily for us, me and my husband, we're very goofy, especially me. Everyone knows me, I'm the biggest goofball. I joke about a lot, and I definitely started to see that character in him, because he was very calm. He's not a person that says a lot. He's very kind of shy. If he doesn't know you, he doesn't speak a lot until he gets to know you. He comes out of his shell, but I know because of me, I've rubbed off a bit of my goofiness on him, and he jokes about a lot more. We do some stupidness on my Snapchat, on his Snapchat, and you can just see that we are generally just silly together. I can be so silly with him. I can do dumb things with him, if you know what I mean. And I definitely feel that's something that he's learned from me as well. But it's not easy, guys. It is hard work. It is hard work. Especially because my man, I think one of the other things I found hard, really, really hard, is that living with my mum's, obviously my mum always used to cook for me, not because I can't cook, because I made sure I could cook. I ain't about that life. I don't know how some females just at this age as well just don't know how to cook. I'm not saying it's a priority for a girl to know how to cook. I'm not saying that. I just feel like it's a skill. I don't know. Maybe it's a cultural thing for me, especially because I'm African, I'm Nigerian, and it's just a thing. Whereas growing up, we just know that we've been told you need to know how to throw it down in the kitchen. Do you know what I mean? So living with my mum done a lot of that for me, but I knew this skill, and it's not one of the best tasks I love. I don't really enjoy cooking, but I learned how to cook, and I cook because of my husband, because I got to make sure that he eating good food, and the good food is coming from me. But I think it was hard for me because he only eats fresh food. Now, I don't know if other females out there that are married or that have partners that they live with that only eat fresh food. Like, this guy refuses to eat anything from the fridge. When I mean from the fridge, I mean maybe let's say I cooked some stew and we've eaten it today and I put it in the fridge. This man will not eat it tomorrow or the day after. He just only eats fresh food. And I was like, boy, I work full time. I'm a career woman. You can't expect me to be a full-time housewife too. It's just not gonna run. It's not gonna run with me. And it was a struggle. I was like, babe, I'm cooking every single day for you. Every single day I was cooking a meal for this guy, and I was like, you know what, this needs to stop. This needs to stop, because what I've learned with marriage, if you start something, men are gonna have that expectation all the time. So I had to nip that in the bud and let him know that, baby, I love you, but I ain't cooking every single day. I'm not cooking fresh food every single day. Sometimes you're gonna have to eat something from the fridge. And if you can't eat nothing from the fridge, then honey, there ain't gonna be no food. You're just not gonna eat. Drink cereal, then go to bed. You know, one of them ones, because I can't be cooking every single day. I told him, there's 7 days in the week. I'm happy to cook for you 4 days out of the 7. Sometimes 5 days out of the 7. 2 days, 3 days, I'm not cooking fresh food. It's either you order out or you eat something that's already been prepared and it's from the day before. Because I couldn't keep up with it. It was too demanding. I work in investment banking, first things first. By the time I come home, I settle down and cook him the food that he likes, it was just becoming so draining. I felt like I wasn't spending enough time on the things I enjoy, my craft, if you know what I mean. So that was a struggle. So we had to compromise. And luckily for me, my hubby is one of the most chilled, relaxed guys. He was just like, yeah, it's cool. It's not even an issue. And furthermore, you can't even come with, he can't cook. This man doesn't even know how to make toast. So, you know, one of them ones. So I was like, you can't just even be fussy about it, really and truly, when you don't even know how to throw it down. So I do, when I get some time, I am going to try and teach him how to make the basics. You know what I mean? But that was something I really struggled with. And I was like, you know what? I think one of the best advice that I got was start how you want to end. Do you know what I mean? Don't do stuff and the expectation stays there, because the day you don't do it, it's going to be a problem. Do you understand what I'm trying to say? So that's why I nipped that in the bud from the beginning. I was like, you know what, let me not start something that I know I can't finish. So that was definitely a struggle for me. It was a struggle for me to adapt to that, especially coming from somewhere where my mum practically was doing all the cooking for me. You know, she supported me. I'm the youngest, so she always looked after me. I'm her baby. But it was tough, and I made a conscious effort as well to learn how to cook the things that he enjoys. Because I don't know, I'm really about pleasing my man and making him happy. Like, for instance, he knows I love luxury shoes, luxury bags and things like that. So he makes that conscious effort to get me those things when he can. So I also want to make that conscious effort to give him food that he enjoys. I know that's what he likes. Do you know what I mean? So I guess it's all about a compromise. In our marriage so far, we've just been compromising with each other, and we talk. Make sure, like, I don't think you understand, guys, I talk to him. Every time I'm upset about something or every time I get irritated about something, I make sure I sit down and have a conversation with him and be like, babe, I don't like it when you've done that, and this is why I don't like it. And he does the same thing to me, you know. I know, and another thing is, what I learned is that we have a lot of our clashes because I always tell him all the time, we're from two different worlds. Even though I'm Nigerian, I'm British. I was born here, I grew up here. My hubby is if you know what I mean. He's from back home, and he moved here when he was like 18. So even though he's lived here for a long time, he still has that proper Nigerian mentality. You know, the way he reasons, the things he the things he says, you know. So we can clash sometimes because he could be like, this babe, you're rude. You're rude. And I'll be like, nah, I'm not, bruh. Like, I'm not rude. This is just how we speak when we're from London. And he's like, you London babes are just too rude. And it's like, no, we're not. So me and him used to clash a lot just because we're just from two different worlds. Do you know what I mean? But he had to learn how to understand that what I'm saying isn't being disrespectful. And I also had to learn and understand that what he's saying to me, I shouldn't take it so personal. You know what I mean? Because Africans from back home can be very direct. They can be very honest and very direct. And you could just be like, did you really just say that to me? Do you know what I mean? But at the same time, because we are also quite, well, because I'm also quite honest and direct, he could be like, did you really just say that to me too? So that was definitely one of our struggles from even before we got married, to be honest with you, that we used to butt heads about just the way we talk sometimes, if you know what I mean. But I must say, living with him and being married, it has its ups and downs. Like, everyone goes through their trials and tribulations whilst they're in their marriages. Some people choose to disclose, some people choose not to disclose. Some people want to act like everything's perfect with them, but I think that's just silly. I feel it's good to let people know the struggles. Do you know what I mean? And that is not, it's not hard, that is not an easy job. Being in a marriage is a job. Don't let anyone fool you. It is a job. Trust me. Because you're not only trying to make yourself happy, you're trying to make another human being happy. And that's just, now that it's just two of us, talk alone of when we now bring children into the equation, that's going to be even harder when you add children into the equation. So I definitely have to say to you guys that it's been great, it's been fun. We've had our moments where we just can't stand each other, real talk, and we've had our moments where we just love each other and we just always want to be with each other. But one thing I know about me and him is that the love that we have for each other is something I can't describe. I love that man so much, and I know he loves me so much, and I know that our relationship, it was destined to be, you know. But it's not easy, and we're learning every single day. We learn about each other every single day, and we make adjustments and amendments to make the relationship have longevity. That is the number one thing, to make the relationship have longevity and keep it spicy. I can't lie to you guys, because sometimes, I know I'm a bit wishy-washy with what I'm saying, but sometimes, like, in relationships, you can not fall off, but get a bit lazy. And sometimes I feel like I'm getting a bit lazy. Like, I still need to keep myself sexy for my man, you know. So I'm not gonna lie to you guys, I make sure I get my waxing done. I make sure my armpits are waxed, my tata down there is waxed, my legs are waxed, and that I keep myself in check together. Because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose yourself. You know what I mean? I become lazy, and you don't want to look sexy for him. Sometimes you got, when you know that attraction remains. Do you know what I mean? You don't want to lose yourself. And I felt at one point I was losing myself. I felt like I was always wearing my tracksuits, in my flip-flops, my bathroom slippers, t-shirts, and I was like, why am I becoming like this? Why am I becoming lazy to want to make an effort to look good for my man? Because I'm sorry, people be like, you look good. No, I want to look good for my man. That's what I'm making myself look good for. You know what I mean? I want him to look at me and be like, yeah, my baby's sexy, my wife's look good, she looks sexy. I'm making that effort for him. You know what I mean? And for myself, but I'm not gonna lie, probably 60% is for him. You know, some people want to sit here in front and be like, it's for myself. These are just a lot of things that I learned, and I was really starting to feel to myself that, Ufi, you're falling off, man. Like, you need to still make an effort. You still need to make yourself look good. You know what I mean? So I definitely need to try my hardest now and again, like, to dress up for him, you know, keep myself intact, because honestly, and let's be honest guys, the sex life is very important within a marriage as well. You got to keep it spicy. You don't want to lose, you don't want to get so disengaged, if you know what I mean, and just be like, oh, it's a chore to even be intimate with your partner. You definitely have to keep that aspect of the marriage or the relationship keep the flames burning, for real. You have to keep it burning, because that's important. Do you know what I mean? You just don't want to ever feel like you slacked in that department, and for him too. But I'm just being honest, like, you have to make sure you keep that element and keep that part of the relationship spicy and keep it interesting. Do new things, research if you have to, but keep the sex life in the marriage, like, keep it going. You know what I mean? Just make sure that you're both very intimate regularly, and make sure you both are enjoying it. And if you're not enjoying it, speak about it. Be like, babe, how can I improve? You know, what can I do to make it more interesting? And he does the same. You know what I mean? Babe, what can I do to make it more interesting? And so on and so forth. That is a very important part of our relationship. Do you know what I mean? And just making sure we keep that flame burning between us. So the number one important thing is planning for our future and what we're trying to achieve and what we are trying to accomplish. You know, that's the number one thing, is where we going. You know, because it's all about having that same drive and having that same determination and having the same aspirations. And I feel like if you lack those kind of things in your relationship, after some time, the relationship is not probably going to be that great if you both are not on the same wave. You both are not in the same lane. You both have to have the same vision and the same drives. Same, you know what I mean? If one person is more like, and the other person is kind of trailing behind, that's going to have, definitely going to have an impact on the relationship. So yeah, guys, that's a bit of my chit chat about so far, you know, how marriage has been so far. And, you know, just hope that, you know, we get better. And, you know, we continue to grow. It's worth it in the end, and especially when you're married to someone that you love dearly. But one thing I must say before I end this video, you have to make sure you try your hardest to never ever let that love be lost. No matter how much you argue, no matter how much you irritate each other or get on each other's nerves, that love has to remain. It's so important, because if that love does go, then you might as well practice say goodbye to the relationship. Do you know what I mean? You have to keep that love there. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. It's a bit of a chit-chatty one. I hope I haven't waffled and gone too much off topic, but it's definitely something I wanted to talk about because people have asked me a few times. So I wanted to let you guys know basically how I feel marriage has been so far. Make sure you subscribe to my channel, click that button below. Make sure you follow me on Instagram. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat. Names are above. And yeah, guys, till next time. Bye.